Welcome to Dice Nerds and Nagas. Since we were starting our second season of episodes, we thought it would be a good idea to do a recap video of our first.
Indeed, yeah, because due to technical difficulties, etc., there's actually a whole bunch of the storyline that wasn't in there.
The whole beginning, basically, is cut, so this video will get you up to speed so you can just jump into the first episode on our channel.
That's right,
basically. Yeah. So first of all, the D&D campaign, it's basically set in just my version of Faerun, in the Sword Coast region, as cliched as it is, but I like to just tweak things and change things around willy-nilly, so there'll be familiar things, but for the most part, the lore is quite different.
Quite different, yeah, but that's good. It's good. We've got a good storyline.
Yeah, perfect. Mm-hmm. So, I guess to begin with, our main characters, Jessup Winthrop, a Wolfkind Ranger.
That's right.
We had Aki, a warlock from the Far East, a Yuan Ti warlock.
Is he also supposed to be from the Far East as well?
I think he was friends with Feather Marshall's
They're
character back in the
friends, yes.
So they're both from the Far East, the fantastical Orient or whatever. And then, speaking of Feather, so Feather Marshall, our dwarven monk, Zenbri, a halfling ranger from the village of Smalltown.
Yeah.
And I believe they were all brought together by an enigmatic dragonborn bard that was traveling the region named Michael Dragon.
Michael Dragon. Yeah.
And so they all came from disparate backgrounds, but sort of met on the road heading toward Greenrest.
And I think Zembri, so Fleur's character Zembri and mine, we kind of like knew each other because I'd like been ranging in that area for a good couple of years, so we had a connection.
And Aki and Feather Marshall were also friends, so it was just two groups of friends that merged into one friend, basically.
Yeah.
On the road. So I'm trying to think how that started. They just started on the road, trying to cross the Green Knife River into the Southlands.
That's right, yeah. And there was that keep, right? We came to the keep, which was like Snotsman's Keep, is what they called it, yeah?
Yeah, due to the very snotty commander whose allergies bothered him year-round. But I remember that one. You guys crossed the keep, or you were about to cross the river. Some frog people attacked it, but...
That's right, yeah.
Aki, I think, cast a spell, and it just killed pretty much all of them dead right away, and you guys just cleaned house with them.
Was it the Arms of Hadar thing that he was doing? Yeah, he hasn't done that in a long time, actually. I wonder if he switched that out for something.
Possibly, I don't know. I think he's just focused, like, I'm going to not do damage, I'm going to hypnotize and stuff. But I guess fast-forwarding a little bit from there, on the road, they all had prophetic dreams, kind of portents of disaster and Nagas and visions of past lives and things. And finally, you were able to make it to Greenrest, which was the first central hub of the campaign.
Which, to my dismay, we found out there wasn't really a whole lot of meat going around in the city.
No, the city was advertising its prosperity, but it was beset by problems.
Yeah.
And so you guys basically established yourself working for the nobles and some of the more eccentric personalities in town. You went into the woods to deal with dire wolves that had been attacking their hunters.
That's right, yeah. Then it turned out they were the druids, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of protecting their little sacred area. And so you worked out an amicable deal with them, if I remember.
We did, yeah. It was along the lines of, if you can kind of like help these people's farmlands or anything prosper, then, we can tell them, okay, try not to hunt as many animals and all that type of shit. But I was a little wondering about those people because, like, I remember Zenbri had that whole dream of like this goat man and slaughtering lots of animals and stuff like that. In that area, the druids had this like big plinth statue thing, which seemed to like provide sanctuary in this area to I don't know. They said it would be safe from the coming cycle.
The cyclone. And that was where they really started to begin to understand the overarching plot of the campaign, which is that each world exists in a cycle of about 6,000 years or so of destruction and recreation, where the ancient god of the giants does battle with the Void Naga. They destroy the entire universe in this battle. And once the giant king wins, the giant god wins, he recreates a new world. It's different than the last each time. And so they were just starting to get the idea that this was happening because the druids lived in a little, like a hard zone, a safe spot from the cycle.
Yeah.
And they would go on to find there were other such places throughout the world. Let's see, beyond that, there was sort of giants were beginning to bother people. That was a big topic in Green Rest, was this King Clarg, an oafish hill giant that had been attacking caravans and causing trouble for Green Rest all this time. And I'm trying to think what happened after that. You guys hung out in Green Rest for a while. You dealt with the dire wolves. You dealt with a few small quests.
And I remember we took out a group of trolls. Or like there was a troll mother.
And cleared a hunting lodge, a troll family.
And then we ended up getting the deed to that, although that area is probably not very safe right now anymore. But
after that, I think after Green Rest, you guys kind of established yourself there, and then were contacted by a member of a mysterious order known as the White Lions.
Yeah.
To investigate entire villages disappearing and farmlands being ruined up north to the Sylvan Marches. And that was a whole little, storyline, I guess, out in the Sylvan Marches. It was kind of dark. Entire villages were being poisoned and carted away, people being killed, children being sacrificed, and that was where you met the Cult of the Void for the first time.
I'm trying to remember, like, we ran into this, we've run into this Oni, which you guys would have seen,
in the recent episode.
Yeah, recent episode, like the last episode of season 1, but I can't remember when we met him. Did we meet him before we got to one of those little towns?
You went to the town and stayed there for the night, I believe.
Okay.
And he came by. And you guys questioned him. It didn't go very well. You attacked him, and he wasn't even fazed by it.
I remember it was like we'd heard stories of a big wagon like going around, and I was like, okay, well let's just see if there's any tracks around like this well, this cart or anything like that. And I think we followed it to the Oni, and it was like pretending to be this old man. Yeah,
he was pretending to be just an old coot, but in reality was an ancient and powerful dark Oni, known as the Night Stalker in local legend, I guess. Beyond that,
at level 3, we had no desire to fight him whatsoever.
They were shook. They were unnerved by him. He stole some of Zenbri's hair and left laughing into the night, spreading rumors that you were great heroes that slayed the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Beyond that, what else happened in the Sylvan Marches? You went to the Sprites Falls, a portal to the Feywild.
Yeah, I think before that, we actually went to... checked out another village.
That was where the children were being stolen by witches of the Cult of the Void.
Yes, I think that was like that was before Sprites Falls, right?
Yes, I think it was.
I think so, yeah. That was pretty horrific.
They had locked their children away. It was a whole nasty thing.
Yeah, we had to kind of like go through the kids and kind of decide which ones were hagspawn and which ones were okay, and then Zambri and myself were just kind of like, well, we know it needs to be done, but we
can't do it.
No.
Yeah,
So,
they appear just like normal children hag spawn, so it's pretty rough to kill them. So Aki and Feather Marshal gleefully did it. After that, I think then we get towards Sprite's Falls.
yes.
Ancient tree, portal to the Feywild behind a waterfall, all kinds of great stuff. But the main important thing is they fight a bone Naga, defeat it in a rather glorious boss battle against Naga and a bunch of snakes, kind of a motif of the Cult of the Void. And you get the Spear of Saloon, which is the first item of Horatius Rex.
That's right,
We'll
yeah.
learn about later on.
I think like there was we met like a whole bunch of elves that were
That was it,
part
yes.
of like the Winter Court, and one which I'm pretty sure was an Eladrin dude, and I mean they're all nice enough, but like you know, Jesse's not too happy when it gets cold, so he's like, you guys are great, but back in my mind, like I don't really want to hang around the Winter Court. It just doesn't. It sounds far too chilly for my liking.
Yeah, well, then the elves, it's basically all the elves have been disappearing. Throughout the woods that you investigated earlier, there were abandoned elf settlements, there's treasure
right,
hunters, trying to plunder them and stuff. It just seems like the elven race is disappearing from the world. And you find out that they're kind of going toward the Feywild.
Yeah.
They're invited to their homeland, sort of, or what they imagine to be their homeland. Beyond that, belligerent hill giant tribe smashed the host of the local lord and began threatening Greenrest. You were tasked with given an important task by the nobles of Greenrest to acquire some wagons containing their wealth and magical items.
Yes.
You do half of the quest, but then get word that Zenbri's home village is under attack by the Cult of the Void.
That's right.
And so Smalltown, with giant tribes on the horizon, was kind of left to its fate, left to the local militia to deal with.
That's right, yeah.
They were besieged, defeated. Some of the populace was able to escape, but as of right now, currently, their whereabouts are relatively unknown. All they know is that King Clark and his giants squat in the ruins of Greenrest right now.
That's right, yeah. And it was like there was someone else who was with them. I think it was that Gilly Stormchaser.
With the people of
Smalltown,
Smalltown,
yeah. She was with people in Greenrest, right?
Mm-hmm. She had sort of helped them and led them to relative safety in the woods. After that, though, you guys made it directly toward the Driftwood, a vast, nasty little swamp. Not little, a vast, nasty swamp full of creatures and evil cultists of the void. Do you think exactly traveling through the swamp to Smalltown, if anything that important happened?
Well, we've got like a bit of one thing that happened in the side quest episode that we have up, but that was like with Zenbri and myself, because like Feather Marshal and Aki, they got like lost from the group, and then they actually ran into like this weird sort of semi strange German sounding.
I based a group of bandits off of the Nihilists from the Big Lebowski. And so that's who Feather Marshal and Aki ran into the woods. They did not last very long against them before they ran away. You guys went to a village, discovered a rod of cold-blooded control, which Zenbri still hangs on to.
I think it was before we left before we left Greenrest, where we actually, because like I had become like obsessed with, okay, I think this fucking Oni is tracking us, so every now and then I would be like, okay, I'm gonna use my primeval awareness, see if there are any shapeshifters around, and then like we're in Greenrest and oh, okay, there's two of my tribe there, two of the wolf kind, and I think they were the ones who gave us they said like, oh, Smalltown's under attack. And,
Yeah, it was Wolfkind in Greenrest that let them know, and that became priority number one. They made it to the swamp. It was pretty unnerving going through the swamp. There were abandoned villages full of scarecrows, and the cult just being generally kind of weird and ominous. They worshipped the idea of the world finally ending for good. So they They're led by some nasty hags. They use undead. They torture themselves, put fish hooks through their eyes and things. Just unpleasant people, and their whole ideology is basically these witches are allowing us to feel all of our past lives, through cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle of just pointless living and dying and fighting. So their idea is we want to tip the scale in favor of the Void Naga and completely annihilate all existence. Let's just be done. So that's their whole thing. They attacked Greenrest.
That's right.
And do you want to sort of recount the battle a little bit, because it was quite spectacular?
Yeah, it was a good battle. I think how it started was that we'd all sort of taken up different positions at different places. Like Feather was leading. He ran into some dwarves
that had taken up in Smalltown.
Yes,
they were kind of hardened fighters.
And there was like a merchant. I think he was also a dwarf, or he was just from the Orient. So he was hanging out with Feather for a bit. I can't remember what Aki was doing at that time.
He was just shooting Eldritch blasts.
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing some spells.
So
at the zombie horde.
I was with the wolf kind. We were on the rooftops, just kind of like peppering them with arrows and stuff. And then Zembri was with her people near the ground forces there. I think she wild checked a bit.
She was basically a hero of Smalltown. She was going hard for him.
So I remember like the hag. This is like the main one. This hag mother. She had like all these orbs that just dropped zombies and shit all over the place. So we ended up dealing with a lot of zombies and a lot of cultists. And after like battling for quite a while, we ended up like I think it was I don't remember if it was Aki or Zembri that spotted her, but one of them spotted the hag up in the sky.
Yeah, the main hag. There were 3 hags leading them, and the mother hag came out. I want to tell this one.
Yeah.
This part. So this was after the zombie horde.
Yeah.
You beat back their initial wave, and she started throwing powerful illusions out and dropping fireballs on you guys, kind of hurting everyone away from the battlements. And you start attacking her, obviously, but she's up in the air. So Zenbri summons 8 flying snakes with her summon animal spell, and they fuck this hag up in like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I messed
She got
up
that crit, right?
She got crits, which I was running it kind of amateurishly, I guess, where I let them all kind of roll together. So they all critted, did insane damage against the hag, and then they got an opportunity attack when she tried to flee, which I should have just given her Misty Step or something.
Yeah, this was like...
It was memorable, though. So she just drops this hag from the sky, and then they unleash Modoc.
At this stage, an undead giant, being basically kept alive with hag magic. Well, kept undead.
Yeah, with like ruins and things.
With like
rotting
magic.
Giant corpse. They all chanted his name as he approached. It was pretty cool.
It was
Modoc.
It was a good fight. At this point, like Jesse was thinking, like, okay, we need to get the fuck away from this thing. But that wasn't the case, and that's good. I'm actually glad that we fought him, because after the fight and everything, I was like, I feel like I want a piece of giant bone. I might do something with it, and it came in handy.
Super handy. If you watch, we have a whole arc, a little mini arc where they spend time in Modoc's mansion that was left in the driftwood. So that's pretty a good thing to know before going into the episodes, is that Modoc was captured by this cult. He was stripped and killed and turned into an undead battering ram, basically.
Yeah.
And then you get to rifle through his things later, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then that's where I ended up getting the broom as well, because
that's why he has a flying brooms from
yeah.
the hag. And I'm trying to think if we filmed right after that when Akul shows up.
Yes.
For the first time. Okay, so they're caught up then with up to the point where the episodes start.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
Battle
like the
Smalltown was the last big event.
Yeah. That is. That's up to everything you need to know to basically start watching from season 1. Like we will get a full season 1 recap as well soon.
As well, yeah.
Yes.
So, if you say season 1, screw that noise. We got you covered. You can just watch the recap of season 1 and you'll be all set.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.